Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. My name is Jason, if you're not familiar with that, okay? We're out here in Southwest Ohio, okay? Let's be very clear. We are in Southwest Ohio. Zone 6A to 6B-ish, whatever. It's somewhere through there, right? We had some cold weather. Now we're following up with some warm weather. All right, it's late October. Or, yeah, it's late, I guess so. It's after, what, 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, somewhere through there, right? But anyways, it's late October, and we're out here, and I've got a mess behind me. I've got a mess over here. I've got a mess over here. And over there. And it's okay. It's kind of what I want to talk to you about today. It's honestly, having a little grace for yourself. Sometimes it's not easy to get everything done at one time. Sometimes you can have all these lofty goals for yourself, and yet you're never going to get them accomplished because they're lofty goals. And you just don't have time to get everything done, especially when you have a full-time job already. If you're like me and you expect perfection from yourself and you think everything has to be done exactly right all the time, or you're not doing anything right at all, right? That's kind of how I see it. But this tomato plant behind me, it's kind of an example of where you just don't always get it done. See, like there's tomatoes here, but they're blighty. It's wore out, it's beat up. This is not good for anything except the garbage, but it's still here in my garden. Some of the tomato plants aren't. I've pulled out maybe a third of them, but you just don't always have time to get it all done. And I've got these bean plants behind me that are just wasted. They're done. It's over. I've got this drip hose here that's still sitting around. It's not good for anything. It's just sitting around. Why is it sitting around? I haven't had time. And I can say I haven't had time. We can say that Angela hasn't had time. That things just happen. But yet we still wind up getting mad at ourselves and telling ourselves that we're lazy, which is not true. Telling ourselves that, hey, we're not good for anything, which is not true. Sometimes you don't get it done. Really, at those times, you should really focus on the positive things that are going well, because not everything's going bad. We do have some beautiful lettuce here that we're gonna harvest the next couple of days for a nice salad. And I've got some lettuce that's sprouted in its green stalk, which we're gonna cover with its frost protector, and it'll help it continue to grow. But right now it doesn't need protecting, so that's going well. I have spinach sprouted in here. That's doing good. The carrots have survived the cold weather, which they can. Now we've got a good week or two of good weather, so they're out here thriving. We're on pace to have another beautiful harvest of carrots this year, which makes me very happy. And our experiment with fall tomatoes has gone mediocre, not perfect, but there's some tomatoes here. Are they any good? That remains to be seen. There's a stink bug. But yeah, we grew some tomatoes. And then these tomatoes have a shot too. These are the Romas that we planted for fall tomatoes. They honestly don't get enough sunlight, and that's really affected things. They probably would have already matured and ripened, and we would have had a good harvest off of them if they got more sun. This section of our garden, as you can tell, doesn't get a lot of light. Sunlight starts over here, goes over here, and by the time it gets here, boom, no good no more. It's almost 2:30, and the shade's been on these for about maybe an hour. So really, truly, they need 2 to 3 more hours of good sunlight, especially this time of year. So are they gonna ripen? I don't know. They're gonna have a shot because we kept them covered during the coldest of weather, and they made it through it. So now they do have a chance. You see a couple ripening here and there. So there are successes, and there are things that aren't failures, but they're not success, we'll say. I mean, just going. But all you can do is just keep trying, which is what I'm gonna do today. You gotta focus on doing one thing at a time. Like for instance, I'm gonna pull up this soaker hose, get it out of here. And now that I got all 4 of the soaker hoses pulled out of the garden, they're stretched out. Angela's gonna come along behind me here in a minute, and she'll take care of winding them up, because she's far more patient than I am at that. And normally what we do here is we take out our summer crops early enough that we get lettuce or some kind of greens in this bed, and we cover it with a little fabric tunnel. We haven't done that yet. Typically it's too late to try that. Okay, we've got some good weather kind of lined up for the next the 2-week forecast. Obviously nobody can really predict that accurately. The 2-week forecast shows nothing really below 40 degrees, if not maybe upper 30s. So we're in pretty good shape. It's been really dry here. It's dry and windy, which is why we haven't burned that pile of dried up stuff down there. It's too dry and windy to burn, at least safely. But we do have time. You know what? I'm gonna clean out this bean bed, and I've got plenty of seeds here. So that's what I'm gonna get done now. It's very simple, you know, you just do that. Look how easy that is. Right? It's nothing to it. So I'm gonna clean out this bed and plant some seeds. And you see, I told you, Angela Kay knew much more about what she was doing than I did. I knew she would get that job done right. A lot of times, that's what you do, especially in a marriage situation, is you know your strengths. You understand your strengths and your weaknesses. Understand who's better at what than the other person is. Angela's far more patient than I am with tedious things. Now, it doesn't mean I can't do them. It just means that if there's both those are available, I'm gonna leave that to Angela because she's far better at it. I may be better at just moving quickly to get something cleaned up and done. That's just what I am. That's how we differ, but that's what you do. You understand like what you can do and what the other one's better at, what I need to do and what I don't need to do, right? I mean, like literally, I thought the best way to do that would be to curl those up in that manner and use zip ties to do that. I didn't even tell Angela that. I just knew that she would figure that out because she does stuff like that very well. Me, on the other hand, I'm good at being obsessive about cleaning out beds. So that's what I'm gonna finish doing. I'm gonna finish cleaning out this bed, put some winter lettuce in there, and I'm going to probably put some other kinds of lettuce in there and water it down and let it roll. So what I hope from this video that you can take is that have grace for yourself, and as the Bible says, to guard your heart. That's why the Bible says to guard your heart, because if you get upset with yourself because I didn't get everything done every day, because things aren't perfect, you know, the enemy comes in and gets right in here, and if it gets here, and because the head and the heart are connected so much, and so you just gotta guard yourself, have some grace, understand that you aren't these things, right? You're just trying, because like me, I've got a full-time job, and this channel, while we do it to help and teach people and hopefully to minister to people first and foremost, so it's a part-time job, right? That takes a lot of different time, and Angela has to take time and do edit videos, and then she has to take time to do this and that and the other, and then we also have to deal with our own life, right? The things that nobody else sees, things that happen outside of our house, things that happen outside of my job, all this stuff, all those things take time as well. And sometimes gardening and junk just takes a back seat, and it is how it is, and you got to understand that's okay too sometimes. All right, so thank y'all so much for watching. We do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you, and goodbye.